And here we are with another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. And even though this is going to be a week later than the other one, I'm doing it pretty much the same night. So if I look the same and everything looks the same here, there you go. That happens. Wibbly wobbly. And various other phrases. So I was at the grocery store the other day picking up some groceries. And that's when I picked up most of the beers that I've been doing recently. But I went into the little set aside liquor area where they keep all the liquors that are above 70 proof. Because if it's 70 and under, then you can just get them off the shelf and go. Not like steal it, but you know what I mean. And people starting to think I'm advocating theft now. No. So I went in there to see. I wasn't planning on spending very much because I'd already spent on groceries and things, and that was the big one. Got to buy food. Food before alcohol. Public service announcement. Remember, if you're buying your alcohol before your food, you may have a problem and you might need an intervention. Okay? Take it to heart. So, but I went in there just to look because I always want to look. I was going to buy some Benchmark, some of the 11.99 Benchmark, because that's what I've been drinking and I enjoy it. And there's a new person working in there stocking the new stock. Stocking the new stock. That's really awkward to say, but that's what he was doing. And I was looking, and he was like, "Hey, can I help you find anything?" I'm like, "No, I'm just kind of looking to see what's new." And I don't usually often have somebody in there ask me for help because usually there's nobody in there staffing it. You take it to the register from there. And the lady that usually works there, she's not usually very talkative with just the random customer people. But he was like, "Oh, well, we got this allocated stuff." And I'm kind of like, "Did we?" Because allocated, of course, means that the store has been provided by the state liquor board with a certain amount of something that was made specifically for that state or that store. Now, since this was a grocery store, not a liquor store, it's not for the store specifically, but it was specific for the state of Ohio, which I don't usually get at the grocery store because there are people who are crazy about that. People who get there super early when the stores are all opening. They check every liquor store in town and they're like, "Hey, do you got any of this? Do you got any of this? Do you got any of this?" And they buy all of it. These are your bourbon hunters and things. I guess the name for it, I don't know why. I haven't asked. The name for these people, according to my online Facebook whiskey group, is taters. I don't know why. There's giggling going on because she didn't know this either. Taters. Because I go in and they're like, everybody's always complaining, "Oh, the taters came in and buy up all the whatever." And I'm like, the taters. Why? Is it because it's a derogatory term associating them with potatoes because, "Oh yeah, well, it must be this big pockmarked people coming in to buy everything"? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's probably really insulting and I don't want to just throw it around because it's probably, I don't do that. I don't use the terms like that. In online gaming, for free to play things, for all the people who buy all the skins and all the microtransaction people who buy everything, who seem to have unlimited pockets for that kind of stuff, people online call them whales because they have big pockets. Whales. So I guess it's the same thing. Now you learned something. Don't use those terms out in the wild. It's not nice. Okay? Don't go calling people whales and taters. At least not in this context. I don't know. Maybe if they're from Wales. I don't know. Okay. So, back from my rambling story. He tells me that there's this allocated in the grocery store. And I'm kind of like, really? Because that never happens. And he points it out. And it happened to be some Woodford Reserve. And you can see it's Buckeye Blend number 6. This one specifically is number 6B. Because apparently in the pallet that he had just unloaded, it was just a little display, maybe 4 or 5 bottles each, In the top part, there was B, and in the bottom part, there was A. Now, the taters would probably buy an A and a B because you got to be complete because there might be a difference, but it's just the batch. Like there's one batch versus another batch, but it's all should be the same. It should be the same. You know, the batch usually doesn't make as much of a difference as like when it was done versus everything else. You know, there's a lot of factors involved, and I'm not going to bore everybody with that right now. But I was just like, I'll just take the one that's on top because the bottom was covered up, and I was like, I don't want you to dig that out. You know, just I'll take this. You know, I never get this kind of stuff. It's never there. I've only gotten one specific for an event alcohol before, and that was through my whiskey group. I bought into something that they developed with a local distiller, which was a Maker's Mark. And, well, not local, but you know what I mean. They went down to Maker's Mark and they did a barrel pick and they did their own blend, and it was absolutely delicious. I almost did like expletives there because it was really, really good. And I'm sorry that it's gone because it's gone now. I've drank it all. It took me a long time. I wanted to stretch it out. Man, it was delicious. Oh, it was so good. And it's never likely to be repeated ever again because that's what happens when you do these special blends. But that's the only other time I've had something real specific like that. So here we are after that long round of storytelling. It's been almost 10 minutes of me just telling that story for this Woodford Reserve Buckeye blend number 6B. Okay, so where's my knife at? I'm going to go ahead and cut some of the plastic off here because my nails are shorter. I can't really get the stuff off with my nails as much. Anybody who watched my beer episode, which is the previous episode, will know that I had to use a screwdriver to open my beer. Once again, no, I did not stab it. I just pried it up a little bit so I could get my finger under there and pop the beer. I think I am around here, some kind of barbarian. Yeah. Well, not with the beer. Anyway. So, I had some other story rearing up through all that I was going to say it, but it's probably better that I just leave it because I forgot it. So anyway, Woodford Reserve. Nice cork. Smells like a nice bourbon. I'm going to reach for somebody else's glass because they have an ice cube and they're going to taste some. Right about to there. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill my glass. I'm going to pop this top back on. Okay. So it's a nice, deep, dark bourbon color. Like it's definitely traditional bourbon looking. Very nice. When you say it makes me think of, you know, a little bit of the brown stuff, you know. Some old brown stuff. That's what we like to drink around here. Old brown stuff. Nice viscosity here. The alcohol content on this, by the way, is 90.4 proof, which is good. It was selected February 16th of 2023. So that's when it was bottled. So that's nice. Not that that makes a huge deal, but it's nice to know. And I'm going to let that ice continue to kind of melt for a minute or two before I taste it. It smells like a Woodford. I haven't had Woodford in quite a long time. I liked it. I like their rye. I think I really liked their rye. There was one Woodford Reserve that I really, really liked. And then the grocery store didn't carry that one anymore. They started carrying just the regular bourbon, which is still good. And I liked that too. But I think it was the rye that was really, really good. I've started to have a thing for ryes, I think. Like there's rye whiskey has started to become some of my favorite bottles. The Angel's Envy rye that's finished in the rum casks. Oh my goodness, is the best of the best. But it's $94 a bottle. So I don't get it very much. It went up in price, actually. It was a little cheaper than that when I first got it the first time. Maybe there was a sale or a rebate or something. I don't know. but since then it's been $94, and it's kind of like I don't have $94 just to drop on a bottle these days. You know, it's getting into my philosophy of if it's that expensive, it's kind of hard to justify because you're just going to end up sending it to the bathroom when you're done, despite the fact that it's delicious. So this is nowhere near that. Nowhere near that expensive. This was really reasonably priced, actually. So I'm going to, now that my ice is melted, it smells kind of creamy. A little bit of cream in there. I'm going to do a little clink.
Cheers.
And then we're going to see how it goes. That's bourbon. It's hefty. I get that warm, like that instant warm, just boom, right on down the chest. That warming sensation. Oh, the finish on that. Ooh, the finish is good.
I like it.
It's nice and sweet, like a cheese Danish. It's like a cheese Danish. Oh, that's delicious. That's some good stuff. I'm a big fan of cheese Danish. I can't usually get it anymore because it's always usually made with dairy. And of course, as you guys are sick of me saying, lactose intolerant can't have the dairy. Sorry, I tumbled all over myself for a minute. But man, oh, and the finish is still lingering. That creamy, like cream cheesy sweet. Ooh, that's good. That's a good finish.
I think it tastes like a donut.
It's definitely a pastry. It's definitely a pastry of some kind. Very good. Let's take a second sip to make sure to see if the flavor changes, because that's what we always do. Take a little bit second sip. Not as much heat, but still a nice little settling right there in the chest. Here's a cat. You've seen her before. Oh, that finish is great. That sweet pastry, creamy taste. Oh my goodness. This is really good. This is really, really good. I like it. I like this a lot. And this is why I like the Angels Envy Rye, because the way it finishes off, it just has so much flavor, and the flavor is so good. Like, and it reminds me of something that I really like. That reminds me of a pumpkin roll with the cream cheese frosting and everything all rolled up, and the spices, because you get that with the rye and from the rum cask. And this just, oh man, like a cheese Danish. It's like that, but missing like the spiciness because it's not a rye. So, but it's great. And now you folks know that I probably have some kind of a thing for cream cheese frosting, because all of my favorite things must have cream cheese frosting, apparently. Good to know. But that's pretty delicious. I like that. Let me show you the bottle one more time. I can't guarantee that if you go looking for this, you'll be able to find it, because, as I said, it's an allocated bottle, which means first, it's only in Ohio. And second, it may only even be for this region of Ohio, because sometimes the allocation gets real specific. Pardon me, it gets like the Cleveland area, the greater Cleveland area, because we're Cleveland, Akron, Canton is the greater Cleveland area, basically, along with other like Middleburg Heights and some other like other towns around there, Parma, a few things, because Cleveland is the biggest city in this part of the state until you get to like Cincinnati and Dayton and Columbus and things like that. So that's like where everything else is attached to, even if it's a half hour away. But it could be something like that. So if you're looking for this, it's been out for at least a few days now, because I got it was it Wednesday? Last Wednesday. And good luck. is all I have to say. There weren't very many at my local grocery store. That's in here in Canton. But I didn't go to a liquor store. Maybe if you go to a liquor store, there may be more. But remember what I said. There's taters that will go around and buy this stuff up. I don't know why they're called that. I don't.
No, maybe other states will have different ones that are not the Buckeye. Maybe
That
they'll
is true.
have something special because we're the Buckeye state since it's our state tree. Maybe they'll have something
That is true.
similar but different.
That is true. Many states have their own allocated blends, and they're all a little bit different. My online group did a blend for Sagamore Spirit, which I did not get, but I did get a bottle of that was for a group from California, and I ordered it because I saw it, I think either on Blackwell's or somebody. I saw, oh yeah, this is like a specific blended for this group, and it must have been an extra that nobody claims, so they put it up, for sale. And I did have that, and it was pretty good, but it was allocated for a specific group that did it, kind of like my Facebook group, so it was very exclusive. So that bottle, it's been drank and gone like year or two ago, and it's never coming back. I will never find that bottle ever again, probably, unless somebody from that specific group has one and puts it up for sale, and it's not like $3,000 or something. But states and groups and things all got their different blends, and if you have a large enough group, you can actually go to a place like Woodford Reserve, or you can go to various other Kentucky distiller like Maker's Mark or Whiskey War, like High Bank Distillery, any of those guys. And if you have a large enough group for the buy-in, you can make your own blend. You can pick your own barrel, and you can choose how much of each kind you want in the blend, and you can do a tasting until you get it just right, and then you can ask them to bottle it. And I don't know if you have to pay for all of the bottles in advance. I think probably somebody does. Somebody probably has to pay for all of that, and then they get repaid by the other members of the group as because my group usually does a buy-in. You have to buy a ticket to an event where you get a bottle, and the ticket price is the cost of the bottle. And once they know how many tickets of how many people are going to be there, that's how many bottles they ask for. And maybe with a couple extra for the host or whatever, just in case somebody wants an extra, and they can, sell them off afterwards, or do like a charity auction or things like that. So you can do this if you have a big enough group. I don't know what the minimums are on those, so don't, ask me about that. I have no idea. Don't ask for an uncanny blend anytime soon, because I don't know how many people would actually go in on that with me. And I'd have to pay for it in advance probably, and it's not cheap. Even if it's paid for after the fact, initially the buy-in, it's not cheap. So, but you can do that. So there you go. Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve. I'm stumbling all over the place because I'm talking so much. This is like the third video I've done tonight. But Buckeye Blend number 6, B. So that's it. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to enjoy this. And I hope you enjoy whatever you have. And, of course, until next time, as always,